listen, TikTok grows so fast. Good night to everyone joining the live broadcast in Trinidad and Tobago, and to all of you around the world. Just a reminder, we are streaming live on TikTok tonight as well as on YouTube at David. Oh, we're not streaming on YouTube, ironically. I'm now putting up the stream. I'm sorry. We're now on YouTube and Facebook. So for all of you joining on YouTube and Facebook, good night to you. I feel like I would want to start over the billboard. I should give people some time. All right? No, we'll take a break. The director nearly sneezed and he did a cat sneeze. All right, good night again to everyone joining live broadcast. Those of you on TikTok, those on Facebook and YouTube, we are streaming live on YouTube once more. David K. Welch on YouTube. For everyone that want to join across there, thank you so much for the likes on TikTok. And we are also on Facebook tonight, David Welch on Facebook as well. Tonight is an interesting night, and I want to say props to the Minister of Homeland Security, because finally we have been talking about getting rid of the prison for a very long time now in Trinidad and Tobago, and after literally 200 years, we are finally getting rid of the prison. That's what it feels like. It's been like decades, and now we're finally getting rid of the prison, and they are set to send all of the prisoners there to Golden Grove. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing that we're getting rid of the prison. But most importantly, tonight, I think the big topic going into the school team will definitely be the guns at the school gates. So the Minister of Education, Minister Michael Dowlatt, would have confirmed that armed security or armed guards, armed police officers will be at high-risk schools or institutions come Monday morning. So students are set to go back out to school, and security, well, the police officers there will be armed, and this is to deal with school violence in Trinidad and Tobago mainly as well, right? I presume that the schools, the high-risk schools, are going to be those of Laventille, you know, on the east-west corridor mainly, because, I mean, which children is really be fighting the most? Indians or Africans? It's not being Africans, right? You know, that's a reality. The whole studio of Vex, I say that. There's a reality, right? And the schools that they're going to put these officers in will obviously be black African schools or dominated by black persons. Success Laventille, Mova Laventille, Southeast, where we just see all the school fights. Why you also surprised? That's where we see most of the school fights happening in Trinidad and Tobago, and that is where these police officers are going to be. Now, I understand the controversy behind putting armed police officers at schools, but some of, like Tutor come out to say that it might influence children, it would lead them down a wrong road, and all kind of nonsense. I mean, when you come out of school, they still, or you as a citizen in Trinidad and Tobago, still going to see police officers with guns. I don't think it's a major issue, honestly. And I do think that police officers are needed at schools. I hear the counseling talk, but we had that for quite some time now in Trinidad and Tobago, where if you need counseling in schools, you have a school counselor. But those things seem not to be working anymore, especially with the generation that we have today. Right? This generation now different, significantly different. And I say, if you do the crime, you pay, you do the time as well. Right? If you choose to go to school and fight, then there's a prison waiting for you. We have cells waiting for you. Clearly not in Port of Spain, but in Golden Grove. We send you to maximum security. Right? This place going down, so we send you to maximum security. But for Tutor, the National Parents Teachers Association, and to everyone that complaining about putting armed guards or armed police officers at schools, I don't see the major issue with doing so. I honestly do not. But we are a democratic society, and your views are welcomed. So you could call live tonight at 483-3208, or even you could request to join the TikTok live here if you have any questions or concerns about putting armed police officers at schools. For far too long, children just going and doing whatever they wanted to do in school. They've been engaging in fights, school fights. They've killed students. I mean, Jesse Bipan, in case you all forget about Jesse Bipan, Jesse B. Pan was murdered outside of his school by schoolmates, and that is still being investigated today. The children are allowed to go back to school. Jesse B. Pan was bullied, and his father spoke on Breaking Dawn about it. When I was producing that show, we brought him on and he spoke about it. And his son was bullied by other school members. They brought him to the school and they shot him dead outside of the school. We ran a full investigative report on that at Synergy TV, and nothing came out of it. They sent people listings to the United States for testing, and they have not gotten it back just yet. Or I think some nonsense happened. I think they misplaced it, or some nonsense like that, right? But if you go into school and you're getting murdered going to school, and then the only thing that the law tells you that you could do is send them to YTC and then they come out afterwards. That's madness. If you do a crime, you do the time, just as any ordinary person across Trinidad and Tobago. And then mainly we see what happens in the United States and why this is not the US. I mean, we need to take pattern and take heed. Right? It's impossible to not protect schools right now, especially in high crime areas. Trinidad and Tobago crime rate has dropped exponentially, which is a good thing. I mean that's according to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. According to them, they have seen a significant drop in murders for the month of August 2025. Hopefully we see that continuing into September of 2025. But with schools reopening in a state of emergency as well, I think it is highly needed to have police officers armed at schools. Not to shoot nobody children, not to taser nobody children, but to at least maintain that rule of law. If you do something, it's no more you could just walk away, basically. Because move along until students that fighting in Port of Spain stabbing up each other, literally bringing knives to school to stab up each other. A teacher died. Literally, a teacher died. She was stabbed. Another teacher was shot at a school. And, well, MTS, they say they're there to protect the building and not there to protect anyone in the building, all right, on the compound. So I welcome this move. Tutor, let me tell Tutor something, huh? Tutor, your elections is around the corner, and we have a man ready to replace you with Tutor. Right? We're going to start the ad campaigns. We have a man ready to replace you, Tutor. I ain't going to call the names just yet, but Tutor, you're being replaced because it's time that parents and the teachers are properly represented. Teachers need to be properly represented, and this is a good move. The guns at the schools for the police officers is a good move, and for Tutor to shut down that and to say, hey, no, or you have concerns about it, I don't think you're listening to the teachers' concerns. I really don't think you are, and I don't think that you're actually listening to what the country wants. I think you're PNM appointed tutor president because the last one was doing a good job. At least the last one went to the CMO to ask about salaries increase. You stick with your 4%. Anyway, in the news today, Trinidad and Tobago, we are still up in arms over the kill them all violently statement. I saw Trini Rambles have something to say on this and say it's not we, it's them. And they point out the map being, everything past Grand Bazaar is who Maduro should bomb up if ever we have a war in Trinidad and Tobago. I see persons making the best of memes out of the kill them all violently statement and basically calling the Prime Minister Kamala Persad mad and saying that, we too small to go through any type of war with Venezuela. In fact, we see where Donald Trump changed the name of the Defense Ministry, his DOD. It's no longer Department of Defense. It's now the Department of War, carrying back the 1980s name, basically. I think it's like 1983 or so. They look to bring back the name Department of War. And the Department of War is simply doing what the Department of Defense normally does. In fact, it's not a change of name. You now could just reference either the Department of Defense or the Department of War in the United States, all right? Because it'd be too much money for them to go and change out all of the names internationally and remove the signage and stuff like that and change the whole logo. So that is happening in the United States, and right here in Trinidad and Tobago, we are worried. We're like, oh God, Venezuela ready to kill everybody. The fishermen park up the vessels down there at sea just. They're not going back out at sea because they're scared to go back out at sea. And rightfully so, because our Coast Guard is a complete waste of time. But in general, not to worry, Trinidad and Tobago. Venezuela has been threatening the Caribbean for a long time. And ironically, the former Prime Minister, Keith Christopher Rowley, would have gone to the United States to query the same thing. CARICOM would have asked the United States to intervene, at least under Joe Biden, to deal with the issue of guns and gun violence here, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but in the Caribbean. And apparently a lot of persons have an issue with the way in which Donald Trump is dealing with the issue. Donald Trump's approach to the issue is a hands-on approach, while Joe Biden's approach was more a diplomatic way, telling you we go sanction your country. But ironically, Venezuela has been under several economic sanctions for years, and still there has been no political change or political willpower to even enact change in Venezuela. So when Donald Trump first came into power, he sent warships the same way. He sent ships to, I think he sent his naval fleet right through the Caribbean and stood on the borders of Venezuela. And it's the same thing today. He is sending his naval ships, and he's preparing for some quote-unquote war between Venezuela. I don't think there's going to be any major war. Just as the Venezuelan Minister of Defense is saying that this might be hoax, and he's saying this is AI generated and stuff like that, I think he is lying. Not only that, I think he's afraid of the United States, and rightfully so. They should be afraid of the United States. Ironically, let me tell you something. Venezuela decides to threaten Trinidad and Tobago as though we don't have a Bolzarus prime minister in charge right now. A prime minister with a lot of cojones. That's his name, right? It's cojones? Yeah? No? No, when I'm talking this to you. But as though our prime minister don't juggle Keith Rowley balls in her hands because she's brave enough to stand up against every single individual. Our prime minister is not afraid of answering Venezuela. I think she would have answered and sent a very loud and clear message to every single individual, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but also in Venezuela, and also to the United States. The Prime Minister's response to the threats that we are getting is basically, kill them all violently if you are a drug trafficker. And persons say, well, how would you know if you're a drug trafficker? Because all the US do was basically shoot them out shoot them out the water, kill them in the water. And I see people in the US bring up concerns about this and talking about this the same way. But then, interestingly enough, today, you see more information comes out on this issue, where a veteran of the US Armed Forces has said the crew allegedly killed by the US military troops. I don't know why the media is still using allegedly, but the crew that was killed by the military troops out at sea off Venezuela received several warnings in 3 different languages, Spanish, English, and Portuguese, to stop. And they'll tell them stop and turn around. Noting that they ignored the warnings which led to the death of 11, which the US government said were members of the Venezuelan-based gang. All right? So they were told to turn around, and they did not turn around, which led to their death, and which ultimately led to bodies being washed up at shore here in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, this is graphic, people, very graphic. But the question that I have now is for the Venezuelans, the Minister of Defense and all of those persons are talking now in Venezuela. If you're telling me that the strike never happened and it was AI generated, why are you threatening Trinidad? Help me understand that. Why threaten Trinidad and Tobago if it was a hoax and if it's a lie? Why? And why send threats our way instead of sending threats to the United States and to President Donald Trump? Because as far as I understand, it's not Trinidad and Tobago send any type of missiles or drones or anything to wipe out Venezuelans or to stop drug traffickers. As far as I understand, it's the US president. And unfortunately, this is on our show today, right? This is on our show. Very graphic, people, very, very graphic. But this is on our show today because of the effects of drug traffickers. So for the defense ministry to come and threaten us and to bad talk us and threaten our fisher folks, which they have been doing a while now, by the way. They have been doing this a while now. They've always been threatening Trinidadian fishermen. I applaud, or I want to tell Trinidad fishermen to stay in Trinidad and Tobago waters, all right? Stay in Trinidad and Tobago waters, but they have been threatening us for a while, and Persad said that if it is you, any Venezuelan boats are caught in Trinidad and Tobago waters, she has ordered them to our Coast Guard, our Coast Guard actually, to stop it and use the necessary force needed to stop it. So if it is that we need to shoot to kill, we will shoot to kill. And you should not be in our waters. We are a sovereign democratic state here in Trinidad and Tobago, whether or not you like it or not, right? And you know, for persons that are talking now in Trinidad and talking about, or it have a way to deal with it, diplomatic treaties. I hear people talking about it have laws on international waters. That's crazy. I never hear that before. I never hear where it have strategic laws on international waters. You help me understand that. This is not, and people act as though the United States has never done this before. The US bombed several countries without getting Congress in charge or involved in the decision making several times before. But because this is Donald Trump, and because Donald Trump is the most hands-on president the world has ever seen, and because the man does just say the first thing that come off the top of his head and he does action it as well, people vex. I support Donald Trump. I do. I support his migration policy. If it is that you're overstaying your visit in the United States, send your ass home. That's Donald Trump philosophy. If you're overstaying your stay in the United States, go home. If you're in the United States illegally, we will deport your ass. And it's the same thing that we should adopt right here in Trinidad and Tobago, especially for the Venezuelans as well as for the Guyanese. Well, the Guyanese and them gone home a long time. Their economy suddenly coming back up. But for the Venezuelans, if you came across our country illegally, and then you're taking up work by Coop's Car Wash and you're taking up work all over the place, and you're taking our dollar that we don't want it, so you can take it for real, but you're taking our dollar and you're carrying it back to Venezuela, and you're not really paying any taxes here in Trinidad and Tobago, yet you're benefiting from the free healthcare that we offer, per what the former Minister of Health would have stated, Terence Dialsing. He say healthcare is free for all. Whether or not you're here illegally or not, healthcare is free for all. Why it is we can't send you back home if you're here illegally and you're contributing to the crime rate in Trinidad and Tobago, right? You're contributing towards that because Venezuelans, you can't tell me no Venezuelans involved in crime in Trinidad and Tobago. So if you're contributing towards that, you're taking up with free healthcare, you want your child educated, because as far as I know, some of us locals educated Venezuelan children. We now have street signs in Spanish across Trinidad. And it's not that I'm against it. I 100% support it. In fact, Persad supports the Venezuelans here in Trinidad and Tobago, but legally. And it's the same thing in the United States. Yes, there's a lot of stringent measures to get into the United States, but it should be the same here in Trinidad and Tobago. We should want to protect what we have and protect ours first. And Kamla Persad Bisasa have spoken consistently about putting red, white, and black first instead of the yellow and the blue and all the Venezuelan colors in the flag. If you are here illegally, go home. And I hope to God that maybe after budget 2025, going into 2026, that Kamla Persad Bisasa will start to send the ass home. Deport them all if they're here illegally. If you want to come to Trinidad and Tobago, do it the right, legal, lawful way. And yes, Trinidad and Tobago should have those treaties, extradition laws, as well as we must have laws to deal with, what is called these people, boy? These people that is leave one country, asylum seekers. Right? We should have laws right here in Trinidad and Tobago to deal with asylum seekers. For persons that, just like Jack Warner, how Jack Warner running from the United States, just like him, he running from jail, and we protect them here in Trinidad, we should do the same for citizens. All right? We should have laws in regards to asylum seekers here in Trinidad and Tobago, and for those that are being, because, I mean, Venezuela right there, people being kidnapped from Venezuela, brought across to Trinidad and Tobago and shipped internationally and locally. That's crazy. It's crazy to think of. And it's even crazier to know that the men and women of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service involved in that as well. That's not what I am saying. That's what CARICOM saying. That's what CARICOM say. But the PNM have the gall to only come and talk about independence and say, well, Eric Williams was the first prime minister. Talk about that on a different day, yes? Stay tuned. We are 22 minutes into the hour of 8 o'clock, Trinidad and Tobago. Remember that the phone lines are open, 483-3208, 483-3208. Thank you to everyone showing up on TikTok as well. If you want to join the live and give some comments, you could request to join the live on TikTok as well. Stay tuned, Trinidad and Tobago. We shall be back right after this.
Welcome to S&S Persad Group of Companies, a dynamic community-driven group serving multiple industries with excellence and integrity. At S&S Persad Supermarket, we're committed to community, providing vessel export delivery, custom food services, local delivery, wholesale solutions, fresh produce, in-house bakery, and premium meats. Discover relaxation reimagined at Sunset Beach Resort, with beachfront stays and dining that blends local flavor with ocean views, perfect for families and couples. At Cuts and Curve Fitness Center, where health meets lifestyle, with personal training, meal plans, a full gym, and on-site cafe. The S&S Persad Group of Companies, building value, trust, and community across everything we do.
Your child is topping the class or just keeping up, stronger comprehension skills gives them the edge. That's why Learn Smart TT has created an online comprehension and poetry course. This is completely self-paced with all tools accessed online. It's 30 passages, 30 poems. They can be downloaded or answered on our site. From there, students get access to answer sheets that have detailed options of how the answers could have been written. No other product on the market has this. In addition, they get access to a video tutorial with an expert teacher walking them through the passage or poems using high visuals and techniques to ensure they derive meaning. Also, we model how we derived each answer so they can do the same. If you want your child to enjoy all of these benefits and propel in comprehension, SCA, and general academic life, click the link above and register for this course and join hundreds of parents and students who are benefiting.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. You know, we're in a state of emergency, right? That I understand. But I need to ask the government how long again we need to be in a state of emergency. Because today, well, yesterday, 10 people were arrested after the police service successfully disrupted what it called a coordinated plot to harm a member of the law enforcement stationed at the Eastern Correctional and Rehabilitation Center, right? In a news release on September 6, the police service said after receiving credible intelligence, police officer Alistair Guerrero, in collaboration with Deputy Commissioner of Police, acted on a coveted tactical operation aimed at neutralizing the threat, right? The release said that the operation involved strategic deployment of officers from the National Operations Task Force, thank you, Gary Griffith, Special Investigations Unit, and the Interagency Task Force supervised by a superintendent, right? My question is, how long again we need a state of emergency? I really hope that, because it's no secret that crime is down. We saw it last month. The TTPS reported on it. And if the TTPS is reporting that crime is down in Trinidad and Tobago, how long again we need a state of emergency? Is it that the threats are still apparent and still there? Because the country is operating as though it's not in a state of emergency. The government is operating as though the country is not in a state of emergency. The opposition just being idiotic. So how long again the country needs to be in a state of emergency for? How long do we need to fly our flags upside down, basically? But this, I hope that sooner rather than later. I know that the government went to Parliament only recently to ask for an extension. I know that some of the threats against the government seems to be very much apparent these days as well. We have not heard of much arrests from persons that allegedly or threatening the government, threatening key ministers involved in governing the country. Also, I mean, this is just personal belief. The country doesn't feel as though it's in a state of emergency. Caribbean Airlines still flying as normal outside of not flying to Caracas, Venezuela. That's honestly it, honestly. So I hope that when because we opening schools in a state of emergency, that's different. You're opening schools in a state of emergency. We having CPL, we having football, we having all these things happening when your country in a state of emergency, right? It just doesn't make sense, and I hope that we could end the state of emergency as soon as possible, because there's several things that are happening across the country still, and I don't think it's needed, honestly, right now. I mean, I'm not going to just blindly support the government in everything. The state of emergency, I do not understand it right now, given that we still have CPL going on and we still have football going on, and we're packing out stadiums. I mean, the opposition had a good point when they raised, members of the government going to CPL. But then again, CPL, football was hard to get into, and I'm guessing the security there was good. Was it difficult to enter the stadium for CPL? Mm-hmm. Regular checks to enter CPL. So is security doing their thing, then, I really don't understand why we are still engaged in a state of emergency. So phone lines are open, 483-3208. Just remember that the phone lines are open, 483-3208. As we continue tonight, Trinidad and Tobago, I want to go to a clip with Cedros residents responding to this threat out at sea. Take a listen.
On the southernmost tip of Trinidad, the Venezuelan coastline is visible with the naked eye from Icacos Bay. But beneath the usual calm here, there's growing unease. On Tuesday, a U.S. military airstrike obliterated a go-fast vessel carrying drugs in international waters near Venezuela. 11 people were killed instantly. Now, fishermen fear their boats could be mistaken for traffickers, drawing them into deadly crossfire and even a possible war between the U.S. and Venezuela.
I feel like it happen anyway, because sometimes when you're walking right across here, and you see a boat coming from down on the inside, you have to come out of the area. They can't really stay there. We have to move out.
Icacos resident Margaret Ishmael already plans to leave home and stay with her daughter in central Trinidad. Her village lies just half an hour from the Venezuelan shoreline. She says the situation is frightening and prays it does not escalate into war.
My daughter, I'm from Chagones really. My daughter told me, Mommy, if you hear anything more than that, get up there, because look at where we are. The sea is right out there. The sea is right out there. Venezuela is so much about a half an hour away from us.
Resting in his hammock, Akash Nathan admitted that while he supports the fight against drugs, the loss of life is devastating. He fears Trinidad and Tobago's oil fields, lying dangerously close to Venezuelan waters, could become vulnerable if Nicolas Maduro's government retaliates. Sanatan worries that airstrikes raise the risk of fishermen being mistaken for traffickers.
Things like that, they're supposed to know what they're doing. But that bomb thing, I feel it should not be so. You want the people that have helicopters, that have all different type of things, we can hold them. I think don't use a bomb because it could be fishermen and do that.
Sanatan added that the possibility of war between the US and Venezuela should be a concern for every citizen given Trinidad's proximity.
For now, everybody moving normal. We don't know for later on.
At Fullerton Bay, fisherman Tony John said fishermen must remain cautious, though he has not seen any US ships close to Trinidad waters.
I think they're worried because when they feel they're going to make us honest, dog, and when they reach in that stage now, you have to run or something. You have to run, you can't even do.
The fishermen say gunshots from Venezuelan boats chasing locals into shore are already too common.
That is wrong. That is not nice.
But not everyone shares the fear. In Bunas village, fishermen, including migrants, said they never venture into international waters and have never seen US ships nearby. Kevin Feldman, CNC3 News.
The man literally said, he's going to leave Icacos and go Chagones. So we are dot on the map. One missile takes out the whole of Trinidad, honestly. You're going to leave Icacos to go Chagones. Well, I'm planning to leave, Port of Spain and go down Icacos. Planning to do that tomorrow. All right, planning to go down there and just probably jump on a boat and go across to Venezuela. What is it? Hey, Trinidadians is the greatest, I really never see more with Trinidadians, The man say you're going to leave Icacos and go down Chagones because it's safer. And then the man say, some of the residents say the fishermen could be mistaken for what? For drug traffickers. So let me show you something, right? Let me show you something. I guess I wanna zoom into this boat a little bit more, right? Or this vessel a little bit more. I wanna show you something. And I wanna show you any major difference between your boat and this boat up here, right? Now pay close attention. Look at that. What fishing boat had 3 engines? What fishing boat, which fishing boat Trinidad and Tobago have 3 engines? For everybody that talking and scared and saying all kind of things, I want to show you a picture of your fishing boat, right? Because this is important to see. Look at that. So your fishing boat have 1 engine, but the fishing boat in the ocean here had 3 engines. Were you going with 3 engines to fish? Let's say you're fishing and there's a pirogue. You have 3 engines to fish. And furthermore, it was stated by the US that the vessel, got warnings first. They warned the vessel to turn around, and they didn't turn around. So if you want to starve your family and say, hey, you're not going to fish because you're afraid to go and fish, then you're not a fisherman. Because as far as I understand, anything can happen out at sea. Anything at all. Anything that's happened out at sea, you just mentioned in this whole report that it is a very common thing for Venezuelan fishermen to chase after Trinidadians. You should be happy because the moment the US see a chase happening, they go strike it. I don't understand. They should be happy in that regard because our Coast Guard have no fuel and our Coast Guard vessel down Chagaramas. So for the Ghost Guard to traverse all around the island, that you're dead, you're gone, 100%. If you rely on Trinidad and Tobago's Ghost Guard to protect you and protect the borders, you're dead. I have more faith in the United States looking up from above and striking down below than our own Trinidadians doing it. Because I guarantee you, if we had missiles here in Trinidad, Red House gone. I'm telling you, I ain't joking. Red House gone. We so mad. We had OPVs, we sent it back. We had a helicopter, we sent it back. We had, what it is called, the radars, it's not working. So we can't see if you're coming from left, right, or center. So we might mistakenly take the Red House for an intruder coming in Trinidad and strike the Red House. That's how mad we are in Trinidad and Tobago. So I have more faith in the U.S. protecting Trinidad and Tobago borders and looking at our maritime borders and protecting us that way. I see no reason why you should be scared of the United States being out there in the ocean or in the international waters looking down. As far as I know, Russia have, I think, with their recent trip there with China, China with other persons actually. I think it was stated that they have a new radar system technically, and they could blow up anywhere in the world from just a click of a button. So you should be scared to just come outside. In fact, you should be scared to live on surface. You should go underground. And Shogunas is not the place to run to, because I mean, where running Shogunas to do? Trinidad and Tobago. I don't understand. Yes, I think some people confused a little bit. Yes, I have more faith in the United States than anybody right now. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this.
Welcome to S&S Persad Group of Companies, a dynamic community-driven group serving multiple industries with excellence and integrity. At S&S Persad Supermarket, we're committed to community, providing vessel export delivery, custom food services, local delivery, wholesale solutions, fresh produce, in-house bakery, and premium meats. Discover relaxation reimagined at Sunset Beach Resort, with beachfront stays and dining that blends local flavor with ocean views, perfect for families and couples. At Cuts and Curve Fitness Center, where health meets lifestyle, with personal training, meal plans, a full gym, and on-site cafe. The S&S Persad Group of Companies, building value, trust, and community across everything we do.
What if we told you that one course could boost your child's performance in every SCA paper? That's why Learn Smart TT has created an online comprehension and poetry course. This is completely self-paced with all tools accessed online. It's 30 passages, 30 poems. They can be downloaded or answered on our site. From there, students get access to answer sheets that have detailed options of how the answers could have been written. No other product on the market has this. In addition, they get access to a video tutorial with an expert teacher walking them through the passage or poems using high visuals and techniques to ensure they derive meaning. Also, we model how we derived each answer so they can do the same. If you want your child to enjoy all of these benefits and propel in comprehension, SCA, and general academic life, click the link above and register for this course and join hundreds of parents and students who are benefiting.
literally, no joke, when UNC wins, every single individual wins across here in Trinidad and Tobago, because congratulations to the Trinidad and Tobago Knight Riders, mainly against Guyana, because the Guyana game is the only one that I watched. But congratulations to the Trinidad and Tobago Knight Riders for taking home six wins. All right, 6 wins so far. Today they face Guyana again across there in Guyana. Ironically, one of my directors thought you need a visa to go across to Guyana. I said, what? Visa entry for Guyana? Well, look how no Venezuelans can go there. But also, when UNC win, bravo, win, boy. DJ, bravo, hey, champion. Literally, when UNC win, bravo, win. Congratulations to Dwayne Bravo on becoming an ambassador for Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to sports and youth affairs as well in Trinidad and Tobago. Congratulations, my brother. DJ Bravo, man. DJ Bravo. To the Guyanese tonight, let me make sure and remind you that I am on your side. Listen first. Listen first. I am on your side, Guyana, when it comes to the war against Venezuela. Nothing else, right? And our Prime Minister is also on your side as well. But TKR is at what, 140, 168, you said? Right, TKR is at 160 something to 5, and Guyana, they're about to start batting soon. All right, so congratulations so far. We take it home in Trinidad, we take it home in Guyana as well. So when UNC wins, everybody wins. Not only that, schools win as well across Trinidad and Tobago. The construction of the Lower Mova Government School is underway and is still continuing. I saw today they brought in some cranes and stuff like that. I didn't get to film that in the regard, but that is happening. As well as this is Holy Faith Convent Penal. For quite some time, this school needed some refurbishing, and the United National Congress, again, when UNC wins, everybody wins. That is happening. Somebody saying gas prices went down yet? No, not really. But we ain't passed our budget yet also, so not to worry about that just yet, all right? But when UNC wins, everybody wins. And what else? What else happened so far across the country, boy, outside of TKR? For the sports yesterday, nothing is 0-0, boy. That's what I get with it, boy. Honestly, we just usually always struggle when it comes to football, huh? We ain't have good... We don't know good footballers in this country. Maybe we should send Pollard, right? Pollard is the only one again. We wicket right now. Well, oh gosh, runs. Pollard is the only one getting runs, so maybe Pollard should take it over. TKR now make 167 runs after 20 overs. That's good. That's good. Let's make sure Guyana only get like maybe 100 for Guyana. None? No? Oh God. Anyway, 8:45 right now in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Let us get to it right now. Trinidad and Tobago, it is time to start shopping at S&S Persad Supermarket. Thank you to our friends here at S&S Persad Supermarket as well for coming on with us. There are several unbeatable deals right now, especially going back to school. Your back to school deals are there at S&S Persad Supermarket. This one long, people. This one long. They said they're going to send the voice tomorrow because they're going to stream it tonight. But you can get the 4x6 notebooks. Let me switch for the viewers here on TikTok before I start. There we go. All right. So know that you can get the 4x6 notebooks, all 2 for $20 here at S&S Persad Supermarket. The 8x10 notebooks, 2 for $29.95. Coloring books are sets, 2 for $29.95. Drawing books, 8x10, 2 for $20. The drawing books, 10x12, 2 for $20. 2 subject notebooks, 2 for $25. 3 subject notebooks, 2 for $25. Copybooks, 10 for $20. Color pencils, the long pack, and that's the 12 pack, 2 for $25. Markers 6-pack, 2 for $20. Markers 12-pack, 2 for $25. The Crayon Jumbo Pack 8, that's the 8-pack, 2 for $20. Crayon Jumbo 12-pack, 3 for $20. I feel like I read this last night, but oh God, so much deals, so much deals, so much deals here at Trinidad and Tobago. But mainly this is what I want to get at. There's the unbeatable deals at S&S Persad supermarket. You can get the Kool-Aid case. I guess it is 2 for $100. The Nestle Orchard cases, that's the 24 in the case, only for $84.95. And also you can get chubby cases, 3 for $100. Should we give away something? We're stingy assistants, you know. But you can get several cereal brands, only $29.99 for Cheerio, $15.99 for the cornflakes. We just eat that. The Golden for $19.95 and then 2 for $25 of the cornflakes. My mother actually liked this one, and I might shop right there. I might go down there tomorrow. Who knows? All right. You can get Frosted Flakes, 2 for $30. That's good. I think this is what? How much for that regularly? Like $20, 19 something around there. $19 or so does be for one, or $18 for one or so. I can't remember. You can get 4 of the Nesquik for $20. Oh, the Milo, that one is a big one for y'all going back out to school. That's a great deal. 3 for $20 of the Milo. The Nestles, 3 for $20. That's the peanut punch. If it was Ramsran, I would have said, yeah, the Nestle Chew Nuts, 3 for $20. I said wrong, or Choo? All right, Chewy. I need to come down there for the Minute Maid, boy. 8 for $20. That's a good deal. That's a good deal. 8 for $20, Trinidad and Tobago. That is a great deal. And look my orchard. Look my orchard. Again, 5 orchards for $20. I come in, I shop in. I'm going to the Freeport branch. I'm so serious. I'm going to Freeport tomorrow morning. Right? 5 cases of water for $100. My mother would like that one. I really like that one, like the Sunny. The fruit punch, only $29.95. For how much? Like for 4? 4 does come in a pack? 5 does come in a pack? We have, you're shopping for Christmas one time, 2 for $20, 3 for $5? What? Lay's 3 for $20. I guess nobody does buy holiday foods. The jumbo pack, only $19.95. I think that's roughly like $23 and stuff like that at some groceries. So S&S have it, boy. S&S have it. Look, you can get 10 apples for $20. Where else? You can get 3 pears for $20. The Sour Patch, 2 for $20. The Swiss Mix, a lot of persons does buy that and shop for that. You're getting that 3 for $20 there at S&S Persad supermarket. I had to go there for the dark chocolate. That does make some good coffee, right? Well, I just paid in coffee. For Oliver, I paid in tea. Milo, only $29.95. Peanut butter, 2 for $25. The Swiss mayo, 2 for $25. I think that does be real expensive, boy. Swiss mayo. Mustard. Mustard, sorry, not mayo. Mustard. 2 for $25. Mac and cheese, 2 for $20. And there's the sausage thing there, 4 for $20. Yeah, sausage thing. $54.95. I think, you know what? My director says that he have eggs for sale. What you selling them eggs for, right? 50? 55? $55? Look, we get it $54.95. Save your 5 cents. That'll be shopping by my director. Save your 5 cents. You're getting it at S&S Persad supermarket for only $54.95. And you're getting your farm or your Frank's chicken 2 for $30. The pancake mix and stuff like that, 2 for $25. And then your fruitcake mix. They have some real good unbeatable deals. A lot of y'all go for the Natural Valley single. That's the granola basically. 5 for $20 there at S&S Persad supermarket. That's a great deal. Damn, they have plenty. Chicken, that most important. 4 legs for $100. Right? And look, you're getting Fine Choice wings only for $20. You get 3 of that for $100. and then 2 for $30. That's some great. Look, chicken breast, 4 for $100. 4 pounds, sorry, for $100. Look, you turn around quick. You're like, 4 for what? 4 pounds for $100 there at S&S Persad supermarket. A lot of person go with that chef product, but only $39.95 there at S&S Persad supermarket. Some unbeatable deals. What is this? Cheese? Cheddar cheese? $14.95 for cheddar cheese? How small is? That had to be small. $14.95 for cheddar cheese. I will be the test of that. I'll go down there tomorrow and check it out, right? You get 4 Swiss, what is this? Swiss pasta, 4 for $20. Ramen, that's my favorite. 4 for $20 are coming. You know, if it was the bulldog, S&S, give me a little bulldog, 4 for $20 now. Price might happen for 69 something or $65 and something cents. Give me a little 4 for $20 now, come in there. The Brunswick, 2 for $20, 3 for $20. Swiss ketchup, the pack, 3 for $20. And you can get all of those unbeatable deals right now, Trinidad and Tobago, at S&S Persad supermarket, located in Rio Claro, Mayaro, and Freeport. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this.
If your child doesn't understand what they read, SCA becomes 10 times harder. That's why Learn Smart TT has created an online comprehension and poetry course. This is completely self-paced with all tools accessed online. It's 30 passages, 30 poems. They can be downloaded or answered on our site. From there, students get access to answer sheets that have detailed options of how the answers could have been written. No other product on the market has this. In addition, they get access to a video tutorial with an expert teacher walking them through the passage or poems using high visuals and techniques to ensure they derive meaning. Also, we model how we derived each answer so they can do the same. If you want your child to enjoy all of these benefits and propel in comprehension, SCA, and general academic life, click the link above and register for this course and join hundreds of parents and students who are benefiting.
Welcome to S&S Persad Group of Companies, a dynamic community-driven group serving multiple industries with excellence and integrity. At S&S Persad Supermarket, we're committed to community, providing vessel export delivery, custom food services, local delivery, wholesale solutions, fresh produce, in-house bakery, and premium meats. Discover relaxation reimagined at Sunset Beach Resort, with beachfront stays and dining that blends local flavor with ocean views, perfect for families and couples. At Cuts and Curve Fitness Center, where health meets lifestyle, with personal training, meal plans, a full gym, and on-site cafe. The S&S Persad Group of Companies, building value, trust, and community across everything we do.
All right, welcome back on the inside, Trinidad and Tobago. What a night it has been so far, especially in this republic. Mainly, schools open on on Monday. Monday schools reopen. And look out for your laptops, people. Look out for your laptops. Laptops come at the end of the month. Look out for it. Kamla Persad Bisessa, SCMP, gave this statement yesterday.
They say books open the mind, but technology opens the world. That is why the laptops are so important. And if we had carried through with that program, when in COVID the schools were shut down, the students would have still had the laptops to enable them to continue to learn and educate themselves. One prime minister of our country had said that the future of the nation is in the book bags of the children. Today, the future of the children and the future of the nation is in the laptops that are in the book bags of the children.
Yeah, something the PNM don't know nothing about. Laptops. Even the smart boards. Smart boards need to be returned to schools across Trinidad and Tobago. I've visited several schools so far. Not going to say where, but they actually have televisions like above the board. They have televisions. Imagine that. I was like, what? They have ACs in the classroom as well. Air conditioning in the classroom. I wish I had that growing up. The luxury I would have feel. I might have actually studied. But without the AC in the classroom and actually having to face this heat, like we already boiling from the sun above and then to go in a hot box and boil there too is crazy. So I saw where a lot of schools were given air conditioning in the classrooms, and that's a plus. In fact, I've heard some persons big up the UNC-led administration for actually sticking to their promise to refurbish a lot of schools across Trinidad and Tobago, because they said, and there's me quoting them, but I'm not going to give you the name, but for the past 10 years, nothing. Dry, salt, nada. Teachers were suffering. It had no copying paper. They barely had equipment. And everything was just a hassle to get under the PNM. And now under the UNC, roofs are being changed on schools. And the proof is in the pudding here, because construction, again, is still ongoing on several schools, even right here in Penal. Now, this is down Laventille, East Mover, and this is in Penal, UNC area. So it doesn't matter which area you're in. Progress is happening, things are happening across Trinidad and Tobago. So thank you again to the leader of the government, Kamla Persad Bisessa, for sticking true to your word on schools. And we done the University of the West Indies. UE, we're waiting for all you. No, you're waiting for UE. We're waiting for UE. UE, we're waiting for all you. Fix your business or get kicked out. Kamla Persad Bisessa has already threatened the University of the West Indies. If you don't open the UE South campus, we will take it back and reopen it ourselves. Not reopen, but open it ourselves. You have a state-of-the-art campus down there. Why are you suffering the people, UE? Why you want to change the initial intention of the University of the West Indies South campus? Why? Why you want persons to go all the way down to Port of Spain to get an education, or, well, when I say Port of Spain, I actually mean St. Augustine, to get an education? Why not allow them to go right there? DB South campus, it was open up for the persons that are coming from Cedra, Spinal, Point Fortin, Rock Road. Oh God, give the people a proper education. Allow the people to go to the University of the West Indies South campus and get education. They're trying to send everybody UTT. Anybody want to go UTT? You go UTT? UE. Nobody want to go UTT, right? Sorry. But open up the University South campus. Allow persons to go to the University of the West Indies to get a proper education. I mean, oh gosh, man, UE is well known, and in this administration, tell you 100%. Under the UNC-led administration, education will mean something again. UE will mean something again, because under PNM, education didn't matter. It was broken under PNM. Education did not matter under the PNM, but now it matters under the UNC. Literally, the sun rises when I can't say that. I can't say that. But thank God, Rowley gone. Debt to the PNM, debt to the Balize, 100%. Debt to the Balize. Goodbye, PNM. Thank God PNM gone. If I didn't know how much I glad. Watch now, when election came around in 2020, when we get our loss, my heart hurt, you know. My heart hurt when we see that loss. Why we were live, Vicky and myself. We were live at down. We were in Saint Augustine there or San Juan, and watch now. We swear we're gonna win. We thought we were gonna win. We watched the stats come in, and then we see Rowley face pop up. It's like, oh God, move! He declared victory, and I was like, what? How you declare victory? But we really felt that loss in 2020. But now we were vindicated. We were vindicated, Trinidad and Tobago. We were vindicated. So thank you so much to the Honorable Leader, Kamala Persad Bisesa, for not only staying true to her promise on making education the cornerstone of her governance, but also making people the cornerstone of her governance as well. Trinidad and Tobago, it has been a great one tonight. We are live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 8 to 9 p.m. in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and for all of you streaming across the world as well. A priority. Agreed. It's a priority. So thank you again for joining. I will see you back here on Monday for another week in review with your host, David K. Welch. For all of you joining on TikTok, thank you so much. All of you on YouTube, Facebook, thank you so much as well. Soon to be on television, right? Thank you so much, Trinidad and Tobago, for joining. How much we got? We win? We lost. That's real sad. The game playing. My director from Guyana, people, he supports Guyana. We get a wicket. So much wickets we take so far. We game now start. We take one. Take many more. TKR is Pollard now. I go on. The look I get in. I go on, Trinidad and Tobago. Stay safe. Have a great one. I'll see you back here on Monday. Bye bye.